This is a video going out to my fellow writers and artists, musicians, poets, anyone who considers themselves a creative. And it's about the very important subject of motivation. Whenever I do a radio interview or a podcast, I am often described as a prolific author, and I understand why. I do get a lot done. I have authored 16 books. I have edited just as many more. I've published over 1,500 essays. I often write for 8 or 10 hours a day on multiple different projects, and sometimes I write as many as 10,000 words in a single sitting on a single project. And often other writers or creative people will talk to me and will say, how do you get so much done? I don't have the motivation. I would like to work more on my book or my movie or my music, but I just can't find the motivation to do it. And they feel stuck in this rut of inactivity. What is motivation exactly? Well, it's like an internal excitedness that gives you the drive to complete your project. When you are motivated, your project is fun. It feels easy. Progress comes swiftly, and there's a strong sense of momentum. But when motivation dries up, there's a great reluctance to work. There's a dryness and unpleasantness. Progress comes slow, and it isn't easy. So, what can you do when your motivation dries up? How do you get it back? Now, in my opinion, honestly, I think motivation is overrated. You don't need motivation to do something. You just need willpower. And will and motivation are not the same thing. Willpower is just about putting one foot in front of the other. It's not about how you feel about it. It's not about whether it's easy. It's not about whether you enjoy it. It's just about doing. So when people ask me how I get so much writing done, well, the answer is I force myself to. The same way you would force yourself to run a mile or make yourself get up with the alarm clock. You just do your project. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. I never think about motivation. I just think about action. What do I have to get done? The problem is we tend to think that motivation will lead to accomplishment, but in reality, accomplishment generates motivation. In other words, it's more important to accomplish something than to feel something. You have to break your project down. Think of it in terms of just getting something done. Anything. Writing a paragraph, drafting an outline, sketching something, choosing a font, playing a few notes. It doesn't matter. Just get something done, anything, and force yourself to do it. Do something. Now you start doing that day after day. You build a habit. You make it a routine. And you will start to find that motivation will begin to build as a result of effort, as a result of action. Now, motivation is certainly nice to have. I think of it as the WD-40 on any project. It makes the project easier. It makes things flow more smoothly. But it's not what makes the project possible. You control your project. You dictate to your project. Your project does not control or dictate to you. If you had a goal to be able to complete 100 push-ups, how would you do that? Well, you'd start by practicing with 1 push-up and then 5 push-ups and then 10. You'd get there by doing. You certainly wouldn't get there by feeling. Nobody feels like they want to do 100 push-ups. I mean, I don't even feel like I want to do 1 push-up. Your feelings are irrelevant. You have to just do it. You have to push yourself through until you accomplish the task. And then as you build, as you start to see, oh, wow, I can do 5 push-ups now. I can do 10. Your motivation starts to build as you see your goal getting closer. The motivation comes as a result of determined action. I want to get this through your head. So my advice is shut up about motivation and just do it. Just do it! So that's really the key. Act first, feel later. Enjoy motivation as the result of your efforts, but don't make your efforts dependent upon it. And when your motivation starts to wane and you go through a dry spell, as you inevitably will, if you've built up a routine, a habit of consistent action, you can just plow on through that, and you will find that as you stick to your routine, as you force yourself to continue acting and working on your project, that the motivation will come back in time. So my advice to you, when you are not motivated, work. When you are motivated, work. In every circumstance, just keep working. That's it. Happy creating.